Oh my goodness, you guys, this word might be my favorite word that God ever gave me. And he is so strategic with how he gives me these words. And it was so crazy because this morning, like for the last couple of weeks, you guys, maybe God has been doing this to you too and waking you up in the middle of the night, but God has been doing this so much over the last couple of weeks. And I know that when he's doing this and when he's being repetitive and when he continues to wake me up and allow me to not fall back asleep between 3 and 5 a.m. every single morning, I know that God is trying to speak to me. And this morning I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram, but I've been talking and posting on my story how tired I am. Like, God allowed me to release this coaching business to help people get out of toxic relationships a couple of months ago. And I started that business in June. And I really did not expect it to take off the way that it has taken off. And God has used that to bless me tremendously. Because if it wasn't for me starting that at the time that God told me to start it, I wouldn't have had the provision that God has blessed me with the last few months of being able to pay my bills. So God is so strategic when he tells you to start something. That was a word in itself. So that wasn't even in my notes, you guys. I haven't even started reading my notes. I don't know, that wasn't even supposed to come out, but I guess that was for someone. But the title of this video, as you can see, is "This is your season of open doors." Okay, this word is so exciting. When God put this in my spirit this morning, once again, when he woke me up at 5 in the morning, I tried everything to fall back asleep. I'm like, Lord, I am tired. Like, I have been getting 4.5 to 5 hours of sleep every single night for the last, like, I'm not even kidding, 3 weeks. I can't tell you the last time I slept between 6 to 8 hours at one time without waking up like 4 million times in the middle of the night. So when God gave me this word at 5 in the morning, okay, I started writing down my dream. I dream most every night, and I had this really weird dream. And so I wrote down my dream with like one eye open at like 5 in the morning. And I really, like, sometimes I just like really don't feel like writing down my dreams because I am so tired. But I know that in the past, when God tells me, or like when God shows me a dream and I don't write it down and I forget, there will be a time that will come months later when I'm like, wow, I knew if I would have written that dream down, it probably would have connected to something that God gave me. And so now I've just learned to, no matter how tired I am, I just get up and I write it in my phone notes. So this morning at 5 a.m., I'm writing down my dream, and this dream doesn't have anything to do with this word, but God used me to get up, to have enough energy to be able to be awake when he gave me this word. So 5 in the morning, I'm writing down this dream. And then I think I like try to go back to sleep at like 5:30 because I didn't go to bed until like 12:30, and normally I'm asleep by like 11, but I could not fall asleep last night. So I went to bed at 12:30, and I'm like, okay, I need at least like 6 hours. Like, I'll wake up at like 6:30. So when God woke me up at 5, I was like, okay, God, I am tired. I need like another 2 hours of sleep. And I try to go back to sleep. I put my phone away, and I was like this close from falling asleep. Like, you know when you're about to fall asleep and you like twitch? I twitched and I woke myself back up again, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. And then my neighbor's dog started barking like crazy at the normal time it always barks at 6 a.m. and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to sleep, am I, God? And then all of a sudden, God gave me a word so strong. Like, I heard God say, this is your season of open doors, write this down. And I literally wrote this down at 6:30 in the morning. This is your season of open doors. And that was the title that God gave me. And as you can see, this is the title of the video. So let me break down this word of God has been speaking to me about keys and open doors for the last few months since July. I've been having dreams about keys, opening doors, and things like that of that sort. But when God gave me this word and confirmed it today to release it, I'm gonna tell you how he gave me this word. So as you guys know, if you don't know, I'm about to tell you, but 5784 is the Hebrew New Year. That's the year of the Hebrew calendar. And 5784 is the year of open doors, which I had no idea that's what that meant, or that's what the prophetic message was about that. And 5784 Hebrew year, prophetic meaning, is the year of open doors. But let me just tell you guys how God is so funny, because he had been putting that in my spirit before I even started seeing that everywhere. Like, in other people's YouTube videos. I would see it randomly on Facebook. I would see it randomly in other people's prophetic titles, like 5784, the year of open doors. And I was like, wait a second, let me go back and go in my phone notes and look at the dreams that I was having since July. I was having dreams about open doors, like doors were opening left and right. Like I would have a set of keys and certain keys unlock different doors. But I know that when God speaks to me, we prophesy in part. And so I knew that that wasn't the right time to release the word because nothing was connecting yet. And now it all connected this morning, and it makes so much more sense to how God connected this. So when I was seeing this all over like Facebook, YouTube, I knew it was a confirmation and God was stirring something up for me to release a word. And then this morning when I woke up at 5 a.m. to write down my dream, and I couldn't fall back asleep, God spoke these words to me so clear. This is your season of open doors. And then you guys, so I'm like writing this down, and I go on my phone and I never check my emails. Okay, I'm really bad at checking my emails because I have like 5 million email accounts. Like I have a business account, I have a personal account, but it's all connected under one account. And so I have a lot of spam emails too, and I probably should get better at deleting them and just being more organized. But when it comes to mail, I'm just like, whatever. There's like way too many spam things in there, and I just like don't check them unless it's like a personal thing. But as I went to go check my mail, I had on my home screen, I'll pop in the photos or maybe I'll just show you guys on the camera. But on my home screen, I posted on my Instagram story today. So today's the 22nd of September. It was 22nd of September, and then I had 22222 email notifications. And I was like, okay, God, because I was praying this morning and I was like, when do you want me to release this word, God? I don't release anything until God tells me, okay, this is the right time. Because in the past, I have released words that were way too early, and then I've realized like months later, I was like, oh wow, that's the end part of the word that God wanted me to put in my video. And so I've learned now, I don't release anything until God gives me a confirmation to tell me to release the word. And so I was asking God today, I was like, okay, God, you're gonna show me, like, you're gonna give me double confirmation, triple confirmation to know if I'm supposed to release that word. And when I saw that, I knew that was God trying to get my attention, because I don't ever pay attention to my email notifications, like ever. I literally never, I don't even look at the number. I don't even know what number is on there. But then when I saw that, I was like, I knew in my spirit that was a confirmation. And I knew that was God speaking to me at that time, in that moment, because just like 30 minutes later, when I was going back to write all of this down in my phone notes and screenshot this and pop in photos, my email notifications went up like 100. Like it was like 22,337 or something like that. Like it literally went up another 100. And I'm like, okay, God had me see that at the perfect divine timing to give me the confirmation to release this word. And when I had been journaling my dreams, like back when I was having the key dreams, the open door dreams, God put it in my spirit for Isaiah 22:22, because that is about keys and opening doors. And I'm gonna read you what Isaiah 22:22 says. Let's get out the Bible. Isaiah 22:22. It's so funny because I almost wasn't gonna record a YouTube video today because I just was so tired, and I've just been having so many client calls every single week, and I didn't have any client calls today. I was like, okay, God, maybe I'm just gonna take a rest and like write today, because I haven't worked on my new book that I'm working on in a couple of days. And then when God had me release this word, it took me 2 hours to write all of this down. So, Isaiah 22:22. I will place the key of the house of David on his shoulder. What he opens, no one can close. What he closes, no one can open. Jesus has the authority. So this is what I wrote down. Jesus has the authority to open and shut doors in our lives as he pleases. Follow him who has the keys. I wrote that down on the side of my Bible forever ago, like probably when I first started reading the Bible, like a year ago or so. I wrote that down on the side of my Bible, not even knowing that later when I was having these dreams and I went back to go read Isaiah 22:22, it aligned perfectly with what my dream meant. So let me just repeat that one more time, because it's gonna connect with my dream. This is the notes that I wrote down. Jesus has the authority to open and shut doors in our lives as he pleases. Follow him who has the keys. Okay, now let me tell you the dreams that I had. So I had two dreams. I had one dream on July 21st and then another one on August 10th. And I'm gonna read you guys both of those dreams. So on July 21st, I had a dream that I said, I had all these keys in my hands and some were old and some were new. And I wanted to throw them away, but some were new. I also was packing up this duffel bag full of my stuff left at this Airbnb. And I just remember I had to find all the right compartments to put stuff in. Like my laptop had to go in a certain pocket. I just remember these keys being important because they had words written on them that I was trying to memorize in my dream. So I had all of these keys in my dream and I didn't know what door they went to. I didn't know what they were for, but I just saw how like they were all in the bottom of my purse. I had this like purse and all of these keys were just like laying at the bottom of my purse, and I could tell that some of them were old because some of them were like rusted, some of them were like, you know, like that rusted gold color. You could tell that they were like scratched. And then some of them were brand new, shiny gold keys that you could tell that were new. And I didn't know which ones to throw away, but I wanted to throw them away, but I knew to save them because I didn't know what doors they opened because I didn't know what was happening in my dream. Okay, so that's the first dream that I had about the keys. Then I had another dream August 10th. And this dream ties into what I just said about Jesus being the key master pretty much in my Bible. So this dream, I said, I had to enter the garage. So I was getting to a friend's house and I had to enter the garage and there were these set of keys. And I remember my friend in my dream telling me, when you get into my garage, because there wasn't gonna be phone service for some reason, but he's like, when you get into my garage, grab these set of keys and you need to use this specific key to open this first door. You need to use this other key to open the second door. There was like 3 doors that I had to go through. And then because there wasn't phone service in his garage, I was like trying to open, it was like a circle ring of all these keys and I could not figure out, I couldn't remember which key went to which door of what he told me. Okay, so this is what I said. I had to enter the garage and there were these set of keys and I had to open a few doors to get in. And I couldn't remember which ones he told me to use, but I saw a big white key and I assumed it was the master key to work for any of them. And I used it and it did work. Okay, how good does that connect with Jesus is the master key? And in this dream, the big master key was white, and white is like the biblical color for Jesus, holy, pure. And when I wrote this in my Bible like a year ago, I said, Jesus has the authority to open and shut doors in our lives as he pleases. Follow him who has the keys. And in my dream, I couldn't figure out any of the other keys. But at that point, it didn't matter because if Jesus is the master key, he can unlock all doors at any times. We don't need to have the keys to unlock whatever door that we're going through if we're following Jesus, because ultimately he is the master key. God literally connected all of this to me this morning. Like, it literally blew my mind. When I tell you guys how many notes I have in here for this word, like it's insane how he connected all of this in a matter of a second of all these dreams together. So I'm gonna read you what I wrote in my phone notes. So the first dream about not knowing which keys were opening which door, this is what I wrote down. I said, God is saying that those keys that you thought didn't open any doors, those keys are now going to be used to open those doors that have been closed in the past. Now is the time for those doors to be opened. This is your season of open doors. Then God led me to another verse because God kept showing me the number 38 everywhere. God led me to Revelation 3:8, and y'all, God blew my mind because this is the verse, Revelation 3:8. Behold, I have set before you an open door, which no one is able to shut. I know that you have but little power, and yet you have kept my word and have not denied my name. That goes back to Isaiah 22:22, that God is the one that will open the door. And no one will be able to shut it. When God opens that door, no one can close it. When God closes that door, no one can open it, because Jesus God is the ultimate master key. He decides which doors are open. He decides which doors stay closed. And he decides for how long those doors stay closed until they are ready to be open. But God is saying this is the season now. We are in the time now where God is about to open those doors that have been closed for so long. The delay is lifted. I break off that spirit of delay now in the name of Jesus. This is the time where God is about to open the doors. This is the time where you are standing at the door of your breakthrough. This is the time where you are standing at the door of opportunities. And God gave me a word at the beginning of this month, at the beginning of September. God gave me a word so strong. If you haven't seen that video, go watch it. It's called The Start of Something New. And I was saying how God underlined the word favor so strongly. He said new favor, new beginnings, new season, that we're about to enter into a whole new chapter, that he is about to do, give us new blessings, new friends, new places to live, like all things new, all things new. And this couldn't be more true because I'm actually seeing this unfold in my life right now. When I said new places to live and when I said open doors in this word, I can't wait to tell you guys what God is doing, but I don't think God's allowing me to release this right now. But you'll know soon in like a week or something. But God is really opening up new doors for me, like new doors that I have seen closed for so long. I have been praying for this one prayer for months and months and months, and God just now opened that door, and I'm about to walk through it literally next week. And I am so excited, and I can't wait to share with you guys. But I know that this word is unfolding as I can see it, because everything that I've been bearing, everything that I've been working on, all the labor that I've been putting in for the last year, I have not seen any fruits of my labor, but I'm seeing it all now this month. And I know that we're in September and this is the birthing month. We are in the 9th month of the year, which we are being birthed into the promise. We have been pregnant for so long, holding on to the promises that God gave us, holding on to the breakthrough, holding on to all of these things that we have been just like waiting for God to release us into the breakthrough. But guess what? Now we are in the delivery room. We are ready to birth this promise. We are ready to birth this baby. And that's another thing that God kept showing me for the last couple of months. Like I was having dreams back in like February of me holding a deformed baby because the promise wasn't ready. God is saying, I still have to develop your character. I still have to wait until those doors are ready to be open. I still have to connect you to the right people at the right time. They're not ready yet. Like God has been showing me all these things that were like birthed at that time were deformed. They were premature. It wasn't ready yet. And then I would have other dreams where I was holding the baby, but it wasn't fully like, it was like the baby was like a still baby, like it wasn't ready yet. And then I was having dreams of birthing full grown babies, like full grown babies. They were huge. And I was like, this is the time where God is birthing us into the promise that he has been telling us. And this is the season of open doors. So after God led me to Revelation 3:8 and I read that verse, then I was thinking how Moses, okay, when a door has been closed for so long, you might be thinking, well, okay, I'm just gonna give up on that dream, or I'm just gonna give up on whatever it is. That door has been closed for so long. I've been praying for this many years, for this many months, and God hasn't answered that prayer, so maybe I'm just not supposed to walk through that door. Sometimes there is a reason for the delay because it's not ready yet. Either maybe God is trying to develop your character in the season that you're in, or something that you don't even know God might be protecting you from right now because it's not ready yet. And Moses, think about Moses. God did not call Moses into ministry until Moses was 40 years old. 40 years old. And God is saying that what used to look dead before is now coming to life now. Dead bones are coming to life. What looked dead before will now come alive. That business plan or idea that God gave you months ago or even years ago that didn't go anywhere is now being revived, and God is telling you to pick it back up again. Now is the time, he said. God is putting new desires into you, new ideas for you to start that business or whatever he is telling you to start. He's saying, start it now. God, I know that for some of you, a lot of you, God has been calling you to write a book or to start that kingdom business that he gave you the desire for. He's about to open the doors of opportunity and connections, and he's saying, get ready. So all of those things that you thought were dead, all of those things that you thought were closed doors, that was just a delay until the time was right where God is about to fulfill that promise. So all of those things that God has been giving you the ideas for, that business, whatever it is, God is saying, pick that back up again. Pick up that passion, pick up that desire again. Start writing that book again. Start working on whatever he's telling you to work on. Start writing out the business plan for that kingdom business idea that he gave you that you thought back then, oh, you didn't have the right resources, you didn't have the right connections. God is about to open the doors of opportunity. You are at the threshold of the door. You are at the door. You are at the threshold. This is where God is about to transition you into the open doors. You guys, I can feel, I'm like getting pumped right now because I can't wait to hear what God is doing, you guys, because he's already doing it in my life, and he gave this word so strong to me. So as I'm writing, I'm like so excited right now. I can like feel God's presence right now so strongly. Oh my gosh. Oh, the joy of the Lord is so funny. Okay, as I was writing this word down, you guys, I get a DM from a sister in Christ who I love, I adore, and she lives all the way in Colombia, but we've just become really good friends on Instagram. And we are always just connected and aligned. Like God literally strategically placed us into each other's lives. Even though we've never met, we talk every single day. And he just uses her to confirm things in my life, and he uses me to confirm things in her life. And it's just so funny how similar we are. But as I'm writing this down, I have not talked to her today leading up to this point. As I'm writing this word down and I'm like, okay, God's saying open doors, like I get a DM from her randomly. And she's like, and she's sick right now. And she's like, hey sis, like I know I have the flu, but I was just laying down trying to go to sleep. And all of a sudden God gave me a vision. And I thought, hey, I should tell Alicia about this. And she's like, I don't know what this means, but I just had a vision of a floating key. What? I am not making this up. I will post the screenshot somewhere in here. But she's like, I had a vision of a floating key, and God doesn't really speak to me in visions, but I've been asking him to speak to me in visions, and I was just trying to fall asleep, and God gave me a vision of a floating key. And I said, oh my goodness, girl, because I am literally writing a word down that God gave me this morning to release, saying that this is the season of open doors, Isaiah 22:22. It's about literally a key, and how I was just like writing all of this down, and then she sends me this, she's like, no way. And I was like, yeah, she's like, I almost wasn't gonna send it to you because I'm trying to go to sleep, like I'm trying to get over this cold, but for some reason in my spirit, I was like, I need to tell Alicia this. And I said, oh my goodness. And guys, like it's just crazy because I'm about to have keys to something new next week. So it's just like another confirmation, because I've been asking God, like, okay, God, confirm this for me if this is what you have for me. I'm getting keys to something. And she confirmed it by just randomly telling me that as I'm writing this word about God opening doors with keys. And so it's just so funny. But I lost it because I had just posted on my story the screenshot of Isaiah, or not of Isaiah, but the screenshot of my email notifications of 2222. And I told her how much confirmation that was for me, because the thing that I'm getting next week with the keys, I had been praying for God to give me more confirmation that I'm making the right decision. And she had no idea. By the way, whatever I'm telling you right now, like the keys that I'm getting for next week, I had not even told anyone this. I had not even told her. So she had no idea what kind of confirmation this was for me, and confirmation for my word. But like, I never told her what God was doing in my life or anything. Like I was keeping that a secret. I was keeping that as a surprise. So when I finally did tell her, she's like, oh, this is confirmation. This is what it was. And I was just like freaking out. It was crazy. But okay, let's see what else I have in my notes. There's so much, you guys, and I know I'm all over the place right now, but God was just giving this to me just so quickly. So God is saying that your season is coming. The doors that have been shut for so long will now be opened. I break off the spirit of delay. You guys, I break off the spirit of delay, because things that have been delayed in my life that I felt like God was telling me, oh, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. I'm like, okay, God, you said that last month. Okay, God, I felt that last month. And now it all makes sense why God had that delay happen, because so many things in my life have changed. And I knew that God was doing that to pivot. Sometimes God will make you think that it's coming, so that way he pivots you in that moment to transition to somewhere else, because in that pivot is where you're going to be going and where he's leading you to that open door. Because if you continued on this path and you thought that that was the open door, that would have been the wrong door. That would have been the counterfeit. So like sometimes God will lead you in one direction, but in that direction, he will pivot you to get to the other place where you're supposed to go. And so now I know that that's what God was doing. But he's saying that the doors have been shut for so long will now be opened. Sometimes the delay is meant to develop your character so you can handle the fulfillment of the promise. And let me repeat that one more time. Sometimes the delay is meant to develop your character so you can handle the fulfillment of the promise. And I'm so thankful that God did not give me what I was praying for months ago when I first moved to Nashville, because I wouldn't have been ready. I probably would have fumbled the ball. I probably would have passed it up. I probably would have not taken care of it of how I was supposed to, or taken advantage of my promise, or taken advantage of the money that I was praying for and the abundance and the finances. Like, God still had to work on me, because there was still a lot of things that God had to strip me of, because when I moved here, I was like still had all these priorities that I could get my hair done, and I was buying makeup every month, and I was getting my nails done, and still here I was being like, God, I'm broke, like I'm praying for financial provision. And God's like, well, Alicia, all those necessities that you think are priorities, like why are those a priority in your life right now? Like if you are trying to pay off your debt. And so God really convicted me in that. And I was like, okay. And so for the last just couple of months, God has been really developing my character and stripping me of the things that I once used to put my worth in. And so throughout the last couple of months, God has really taught me how to steward, how to pay off my debt, how to spend wisely. He's really taught me wisdom in areas of spending, because before I was saved, I was a good, actually, I don't know. I had phases where it's like I was organized with my money, where I knew when to save, but like I would wait till the last minute. Like I wouldn't save ahead of time. Like I would be like, oh, things aren't looking good this month, I'll save this month, but like next month I'm gonna spend like crazy. And so I was not wise in my money situation. And so God has really taught me how to steward well, because He's literally only given me enough provision to be able to pay my bills and to buy food. That's literally it. I have not one single extra dollar to go shopping, to get my nails done. And it's so funny, because God knew that I was not gonna get my nails done. For the last 2 months, I wasn't gonna pay to get my nails done. And I had a sister in Christ Venmo me randomly, and she was like, I really wanna pay, it was on my heart, I really wanna pay for you to get your nails done. And I'm like, that was so sweet. You guys, I even cut my own hair, because the dead ends were like crazy. I hadn't had a haircut in like almost a year. And I'm like, I'm not gonna pay $500 to $700 to get my hair done. Like, I don't know what's going on with inflation, but hair prices are ridiculous right now. Like I literally went to go look up a salon for the last couple of months, and I'm like, oh, well, why is that not the same price in Florida? Because it's just crazy expensive. So I literally cut my own hair. Yep, I did. I cut my own hair. I know some of you will be able to relate, whoever is watching this video. So anyways, besides the point, God has been really teaching me that. And throughout this time, when I was praying for all these things and I wasn't getting them, or God wasn't opening those doors, He was developing my character. And this, like what God does, this is in so many stories in the Bible where God is using that time of delay to develop their character. Like for example, the story of Joseph. God did that when Joseph was in prison all those years, when Joseph really didn't rape Potiphar's wife, but he got sent to prison anyways. And God knew that Joseph didn't do that. But throughout all those years in prison, God was developing Joseph's character. He was breaking off the pride. He was just like strengthening him. He was making him stronger. He was developing his gifts. He was strengthening and developing Joseph's character. But guess what? When it was time for Joseph to get out of jail, when it was time for Joseph to save his family from dying from the famine, oh, God made it happen quickly. Within like a snap of a finger, Joseph got out of prison. Joseph found favor with Potiphar. Joseph became prime minister of Egypt. Joseph saved his entire family. Joseph moved all of his brothers and his dad from Canaanite back to Egypt. He saved them. God made things happen quickly. And that's the same thing what God is doing in your life, in my life, in this season right now. God is about to shift things suddenly. God is about to shift things quickly. And this is the season of open doors. And you guys, when these doors start flying open, you're not even going to be able to catch up. You're not even going to be able to get ready. God is saying, get ready. Prepare now, because this is so strong in my spirit. God is saying the doors that have been closed for so long, the things that have been dead are about to come to life. These doors are about to swing open. This is the season of open doors. God is saying that season that you were in had a purpose to develop your character. But this next season is the season of open doors, and things are shifting suddenly. You are being birthed into the promise. And God led me to another verse, Isaiah 60:22. And I've been seeing this verse everywhere. I wrote it down in my phone notes today because I had it from a dream that I had September 17th. So I wrote it down, like literally I wrote it down. This is already written. I posted this on my story like September 17th. I don't know if you can see it. I had already written this down, okay? September 17th, I had this and I posted it on my Instagram story, and I said, God kept highlighting this verse to me the last few days because I was having dreams about being birthed into the promise and things happening quickly. And then, so I posted it, and it says, at the appointed time, I, the Lord, will make it happen. So I am writing this down, okay? I'm writing this down in my phone notes. As soon as I wrote that down, I go on Instagram and I follow all of these like Christian reel pages. The first thing I see on my feed is literally a reel of this exact verse. I'm like, okay, so God is saying that he's about to shift things quickly. He's about to do it, you guys. So I'm almost done with this word, but another thing that I have is I have this biblical dream book. I've talked about this before in past videos. I will put the link down in the description box, but it's a very prophetic book, and if you have a dream about anything, you can look up the word, it'll tell you the definition, it backs it up with the scripture, so you can look up there's like different interpretations, different meanings, different scriptures to different things. And so this book has helped me tremendously. Like in the beginning, when I first started walking in my prophetic gift, God was just using this like extremely. And so in that time when I was having those dreams about the doors and the keys, when I looked up keys and door in my dream book, they all mean opportunities, like all of them. Keys meant opportunities, door meant opportunities, even garage, saying that it's a storage, because like in one of my dreams, I was going through the garage door and it was saying that it's on pause, and it's like the delay, but then I walked through the door and it was like, I'm at the door of opportunity. I'm at the door about to transition. And so all of those things meant opportunities, and that you are about to transition. You are right at the door, and the key is opening the doors to the opportunities, to the promise, to your future. You're walking into the next season of new beginnings, the best season yet. And God kept highlighting this to me. The best is yet to come. I just have a feeling it's going to be bigger than you can even imagine. You guys, Ephesians 3:20. I went to go get coffee with my girlfriend last week, and we were just having the best fellowship. Like, I love this girl, but like for 2 hours, we were just like going back and forth. Like we're like in a bubble at this coffee shop, and we're just like, like telling each other what God's doing in our lives. And it's just so insane. Like, I just like want to cry because it is so insane what God is doing. Like, it is so insane what he's doing right now. And I just feel in my spirit that he is about to do things so quickly, so suddenly. He's about to fling open these doors. And I was telling her, and then we walk out of the coffee shop and we're going to our cars, and there's like this huge like I don't even know, it's like not a billboard, it's like this thing in the plaza that talks about all the numbers and all the different store names, and there's like a huge number on it. It says 320, and I literally was like, Ephesians 3:20. And so God was just, he just kept ministering to me. He's been ministering to me like every single day. But God, and then I'm eating Doritos today. I was eating Doritos this morning, and on the back it says you're getting taken to another level. And I was like, okay, God, just like that. Thanks God for ending that word so good. But God is taking you to another level, and he's saying, get ready. You're at the door of breakthrough, and it's about to happen quickly. You guys, that is the word. I was so excited to release this word today. I'm so excited for you, because I'm so excited for myself, because God is doing this not just in my life, but in all of my friends' lives around me, which means that he's doing it in your life. This is the word that he wanted me to give me to release onto his people, onto his children. So you guys get excited. God is about to open the doors. He's about to open those doors that have been closed, and he's about to open new doors, because you are about to enter into a new season. Get ready. Your breakthrough is at the door. You guys, I hope this word just blessed you, encouraged you, or just gave you so much confirmation. But take this word back to the Lord for further confirmation and further revelation. But I just have a feeling that this word is going to be for a lot of people watching this video. It's going to be a lot of confirmation. But yeah, I hope that this inspired you, encouraged you, and I will see you guys in the next video. And I cannot wait to get these testimonies in my comments. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.